Oregon's John Day River is the third longest undammed river in the lower 48. It contains one of Oregon's few remaining wild steelhead runs. We're here testing our skills against a fish that has survived millions of years. Our guide is Travis Lucas, who works with the Washington family Young Life Ranch. For Lucas, respecting the wild steelhead is something not to be taken lightly.
Even over the phone when we're talking about the trip, I start explaining to them that, these fish don't come out of the water. We'll put it in a net, a rubber net, and it's gonna stay underwater until you're ready to grab it by the wrist, or I'll hold it by the wrist for you. We'll get a photo together, and then we're gonna let that fish go.
Lucas says his own ethics over the fish have modified.
You would pull fish onto the beach when I first started fishing. Well, the thing that I did that set, that I saw that set other people apart was that I'd pull it onto the grass. There wasn't grass out there. It didn't, but we still picked it out of the water and got our photos and let it go. And that was considered great handling back then. And that's only 12 years ago. Where now, people would challenge you to a fight if they saw you do that.
As a fly fisherman, he says there is much more work to be done to evolve the ethical catch and release of these fish.
We could eliminate bait, treble hooks, then barbs next, or something like that.
Aren't there some rivers where bait is eliminated, though?
Yeah, in the Deschutes River, you can't fish bait. You can still fish barbs.
You can fish bait out here?
Yeah, you can fish bait out here if you wanted to.
Lucas says the river needs friends to help improve the wild steelhead runs. One of them is Washington family Young Life Ranch manager, Peter Grubb.
Kind of when I first got here, we really looked at our riparian areas and realized that they were in pretty bad shape. This ranch was abused for a number of years, and really had to look at first how to stop the abuse, and a lot of that was done by removing cattle, restricting areas that they could graze, and really changing our program in that way.
While much of the John Day is used for ranching and farming, the goal of the Young Life Ranch is to set a stewardship example by restoring its own tributary, the Big Muddy Creek. Hardwoods are being reintroduced to improve water quality for fish, and alternative water sources for the ranch's cattle are being developed.
Yeah, so developing water sources off the creek channels, which is through spring developments, which really takes a lot of pressure off those riparian areas, and then also just being really sensitive to where we have our cattle in the summer, which is when riparian areas get the most damage done. So we're going to put them in areas that are, a little bit higher elevation, where the riparian areas are not as sensitive to cattle pressure.
Grubb says what's good for cattle is good for fish.
We have the privilege of having a 3-mile section of salmon-bearing stream on our property, and I think with that comes a responsibility for stewardship. Part of that is looking at it holistically. What can we do on the entire ranch that will feed into that to improve that? And we really want to start trying to figure out ways to bring steelhead numbers back up, to make it a better fishery, to allow people to have better recreation opportunities on this river.
And while on this day we worked hard to hook a wild steelhead, the fish won the day. We were still winners though, with exceptional scenery, solitude, and company. And there will be another day.